some sector of the Muslims believe about temporary marriage. And
what marriage?
زواج المتعة.
Temporary. The Shiites.
Yes.
Right.
And they mention that it was in the time of Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and has been practiced.
You see, the point is, how will you differentiate between fornication and this Muttah marriage? First, let's understand the conditions. What is Muttah? They say Muttah is a temporary contract of marriage whereby the time is fixed and you pay something by way of alimony, and according to the fixed time the marriage is automatically cancelled. If this is the meaning, then when people go to a red light area and fixed a price for a certain time, what on earth is the difference between the two? Only what they need is now to employ some Maulvis to sit back. You see? That's all. To make it Muslim, that's the only thing they need. So the very sense of it is so absurd that unless they prove to us that there is any decency in this contact, we can't believe it to have been the Sunnah Mawdu and Mizalik Rasulullah. Can they quote a single example where Rasulullah contracted such a marriage? They don't. They allege that Hazrat Ali did, which we do not believe. And the rest is only their own misinterpretation of the Quran. And all this in fact started at a time when Shiaism was largely controlled by the people in the far-flung areas like Sabah. What was his name?
Sabah.
Yes, Sabah. Hassan and Sabah. And people like him. They destroyed the Islamic teachings to such a degree that even they started creating a heaven and earth, gardens where wheels were available and so on. So all this shows the working of a diseased mind. And from then on it was acquired by the Shiites of later ages without any questioning much about the authenticity of these beliefs. So, as I said, you better ask them the boundaries of Muttah. How short that can be and how long. And the authority from the Quran are these boundaries. There used to be some Iranian girls standing in the street with the Maulvi this time. And the people who visited Iran, Tehran, etc., they told me themselves. They said the mullah would say, come on, have a short nikah. So they paid for that, and the nikah was performed, and exactly after 3 hours the nikah was over. Is it not Muttah? So draw a line between this and other things.
As far as I remember, it was done by the Sunnis by another way, not Muttah, but Wahba, that she gives herself to him, he accepts, she is his wife for 1 day, 2 days, whatever it is, then divorce.
That's another way of catching the ear, instead of from here, from that way. These are all distortions. If you read Kitab al-Hiyal, written by some of the mullahs, you will be amazed at, the stretches of their imagination when they think crooked. They can reach any corner, they twist themselves and reach anywhere. I can't tell you here, in presence of ladies here and presence of ladies watching the program as well. But if you read that book without perspiring, I begin to doubt about yourself. Again, let's return to the question of limit of 4. If there is a limit of 4 wives, and there is limitless opportunity for you to marry for a short while, then you can have 100 wives, in a matter of a few years, and with good riddance, pay a little bit and get rid of that wife. No problem, no maintenance, no expenditure. If a child is born, you're not responsible. Maybe it is born out of some other Muttah, that sort of thing. If this is Islam, God, this would become the worst religion in the whole world.
Yes.
The religion has at least they permit some bad things. I don't want to repeat, for instance, in Hinduism there are certain laws in Manusamarti which have been always targeted by Muslim ulama. But if this is Islam, Manusamarti is a noble book. Again, this Muttah conceives a situation where it is only men who are roaming about and employ some sort of girls who are always available for Muttah. But if they are not committing a sin, then it is obvious that every Muslim lady is also permitted to do Muttah. Otherwise, if every Muslim lady, girl who is not married is not permitted to do Muttah, then anybody who does Muttah, the person with whom he does Muttah would be stoned to death according to some ulama, or be lashed for 100 times. So then, openly she can do that. That means you are also encouraging your girls everywhere in every family to utilize this. Where will be the order left? And if a child is born, what would you call him? You see, this is the most horrid thing that can happen to any religion. This Muttah has implications so wide and so horrible. It's unthinkable how these people, prepare themselves to accept this as a noble injunction from Allah. Why don't you ask them, what will happen to those girls with whom you do Muttah? Will you stone them? Will you lash them? They would say no. So why, if your own daughter does it, why not? Then the bitterness of this will come to their mind, not otherwise.
But Habib, they look to it as it is a legal marriage.
That's what I'm saying. If it is, they look to it as a legal marriage and not a sort of debauchery, then they should permit their own girls to contract these legal marriages with every boy they meet. Why not? They go to a school, college, and they have a legal short marriage for 2-3 hours with any boy, the next day with another boy. What is the harm in that then? It should be a legal marriage.
Although they say this in some people in different ways, that in some special cases, like war, like someone is traveling away from the family for 1-2 years and he cannot spend for his marriage, he cannot have a real.
But the point is, this 2-year concept is only in relation to some Hazrat Umar Radhiyallahu Ta'ala anhu's injunctions and permission. This is not what they treat Muttah as. So don't confuse these two things. If somebody goes out for a long time, why must he do Muttah? Why not a regular marriage? So if he can do Muttah, then for how long? That is the point which I am raising. If he can do Muttah for 3 hours, where is the big objection against that? From which verse of the Quran or Hadith you have drawn your authority, which creates limits as well. So without limits, you can't understand any law. So a law must be fully defined. So when you speak of 2 years separation from wives or homes, that is a situation which is just imaginary. You seek permission from 2 years and indulge in a few moments of pleasure seeking. Then the question would arise, why must be a traveler? Why not at home? When somebody is not married at home, why can't he have a contact with anybody in the home? This is not like a Salat al-Qasr, you know.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with that. So you try to understand it in all its limits and in the whole area of its application. Then you will come to realize that it is all absolutely without foundation. It's impossible. But when some soldiers go out for long periods, if they are permitted to marry shortly or in long term, that is the question. Then is it allowed for one soldier only or for all the army? If it is for the whole of the army, why should be required in the city state visit? So the busiest business there would be of the mullah. It's stupid, meaningless.